Everyone tends to blame their Nigerian housing issues on agents, but are agents really the problem? Or are they suffering from a broken system that doesn't have accurate structure to help every stakeholder to grow? So let's look at what our agents will typically go through. Agents don't have any central listing system, which means they are normally hustling on WhatsApp groups and hustling in different places to get listings. Now, the same listing can be posted 5 times, and the agent doesn't know. They're just basically hustling and going from here to here, from here to here, from here to here. Is that really the agent's fault, or is there not a system or a better way that we can do this? Abroad, how it works is that you have a multi-listing service where all the properties that are listed in that particular province or state, the agents who are certified can then pull from that service to get those listings. So as a buyer, that will protect you. But in Nigeria, it's not done like that. It's just basically hustling and hustling. And what that happens is that someone can sell a property today, the agent will go and take it to that property, not knowing that that property is already on the market or about to be sold out, or is even sold out. So that's just one side of it. Another side that you need to think about is developers can change prices on you without informing you. Developers tend to work with so many different agents, and the developer that is working with that agent may have changed the price, and they won't tell the agent that, hey, our house is number 50 million naira, it's down 75 million naira. The agents will market it at 50 million naira. When a buyer now comes, they will now take it back to the developer, and then before you know it, the developer will say 75 million naira. You'll now be looking like as if you're not a very serious person as an agent. So that's something that you should also know. Central systems will definitely help this kind of thing. But next, let's look at if housing will be cheaper if agents disappear. If agents disappeared, would houses generally be cheaper? I don't think so, because you still see that there's no house transparency. There's no price transparency on a house. So because there's no price transparency, people can just fluctuate the price anyhow they want. Any stakeholder involved in that system can fluctuate the price anyhow they want. And land cost is also not going to drop. Land will still be expensive. That's one of the reasons how prices of houses in Nigeria are very expensive, because of the land cost. Another thing you see is that inflation will still be a bit wonky. So that wouldn't, agents are not really a factor in what makes the price high, but they are a factor in what makes the price a bit less transparent. But even if you take agents out of that system, you still wouldn't have a very transparent pricing system, because we don't have a central system for listings. And it's not like there's not a good reason to not like agents. So there are so many reasons. One, you have multiple inspection fees that are very expensive. Some agents will just even be taking you out to go and view a house for rent or a house to buy just to collect inspection fees. That's not nice. Another reason is that the transparency is kind of low. It's not necessarily very transparent in terms of pricing of houses, but we mentioned why that could be a problem and may not necessarily be their fault, but that's also there. And there are also some agents that are actually genuinely just out there to try and cheat people, because there's no regulation or professionalism in this sector. It's something that anyone can just say, okay, I'm going to go out to be an agent today. But if there's a training system or some sort of system to regulate that, you would see more transparency in the sector, generally speaking. But my point here is agents are not necessarily the problem. The lack of structure around real estate sales, which is a profession and typically has licensing in developed countries, is not present in Nigeria. So there's no structure. So because there's no structure, people are just winging it and doing things their own way. And in a country like Nigeria, where things can be a bit chaotic, that's just a recipe for chaos, which is why you keep on having all these different issues. And the people that suffer most from this agent issue is not bad agents, obviously. It's customers and good agents, because customers want good agents that would serve them well, professionally, and will help them buy a house, because buying a house is something that people don't do very often. So it's also a very complex transaction. So imagine, and it's also a very large transaction. So imagine a complex transaction that is very large, that you don't do often. It's not like buying sweet or buying a shoe. It's something that takes time and is difficult to do. That's why customers use agents. So essentially, people that suffer most from this chaotic system is good agents that are reliable and customers. So Nigeria, in conclusion, we don't really have an agent problem. What we have is a structure problem. We need to fix the structure of how we operate real estate sales, and generally all the stakeholders, which include good agents, buyers, developers, banks, insurance companies, to benefit more if we had more structure. So anyway, thank you. I hope I hope this is just sort of my rant for today, but I hope it helps somebody out there. And if you like this video, share it with somebody or save it for yourself for later. Thank you. Bye for now.